Happy the Hallows Day. Yesterday was like Hallows Eve. Anyway, happy day that a lot of the kids are gone today because they ate too much candy last night and got sick.
Yeah. Now let's get orthodontist appointment.
Orthodontist
He
appointment.
told me when we played Fortnite, we hit Diamond 4.
Or have a fever of 104
Well, I'm so excited.
Or such.
We're going to cover all of those things here in a moment.
Diamond was not thing, only Diamond.
No one in here is missing this. We are now caught up in this class.
Me too.
Those of you who came by last night, thank you. I did enjoy it. I ended up having way more people come by than I expected. I was prepared for a little over 100 people to come by, because that's about how many I had last year. Then I had close to 200 this year. So I ended up running out of all my packs of cookies, because I had like 80-some packs of cookies, and those were gone in an hour. Then I had a whole thing of ring pops, and then those were gone in like another half hour. So then I had to start giving out like double packs of Skittles and stuff like that. If you came by, I had a good time. I appreciate it. And then you could have listened to music, because there was a live band down the street. So it was like an all-around good time for those of you who came. I did have a person who came by and then took pictures and then sent them to me. So this was as people were waiting to go through last night. And so in there you had like a little staging area because you had to wait till you go through. And then you can't really, because that's me right there, but you can't really see my outfit or my costume. It's because I had a friend helping me. He was carrying me around because I was really tired. His name was Leroy, and he carried me around on his back. Leroy was a friendly little guy. Anyway, hopefully the rest of you guys had lots of candy that you have now made yourself nauseous and sick, and you'll be able to eat it for the next several days.
It
was funny. My friend, other than Bowl of Dinosaur, my friend was trying to not get any almond joys, so I tried to sneak one in his bag, and he tried to wrestle me, and I still beat him. In a Bowl of Dinosaur, he had regular clothes on.
Yeah, I had people try to go through it in their giant blow-up outfits, and that did not work. They couldn't even get to like the little intricacy thing. But that was entertaining. No, they were NPCs.
That was not my.
Open up iPad. Now is when you get to have your iPad.
I have to be your iPad.
It's just if you want it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's just so you can see the homework. I'm going to have you see it so you have some idea of how it works.
Oh, yippee!
So you'll just go to today and then hit there. If you go over to the homework assignments, apparently it uploaded twice. So I don't recommend going over there because apparently it's been confusing kids because there's two of the same assignments. I have no idea why or how, so I'll be deleting one of them. If you want to go to the correct one, hit the little button right there and it'll take you to the correct one. When you do, it's going to bring you to the actual directions. So here is where you have to have your 10 things highlighted in the book. That's probably the toughest part, was just going through and finding your 10 highlighted things. As long as you've highlighted them and you know which ones are yours, it should be pretty quick from there. But it is our biggest homework assignment we've had so far. This one's going to be a 20-point homework assignment. Normally my homeworks are only 5 or 10 points, but I figured this one requires you to write 10 sentences, look things up, and to make it worthwhile, the amount of effort you put into it. I was trying to make it the whole 20 points, plus it's not really one you can easily cheat off of other people because it connects to your life. And that might not be an easy thing to cheat off others. You actually have to do it yourself, which I know is exhausting. From there, if you scroll down, it'll give you example ones. And I even wrote the first 5 of mine, so you have ones to look at in case you're confused on what to do. This is what yours will look like. You're going to number them 1 through 10. For each one, you tell me the page number, what it is you're referencing, and then you go through and tell me how it connects to your life in some way. That's all I'm looking for. They don't have to be in order. As you can see, there's 27, 21, 28, 17. So as long as you follow directions, then I am perfectly good with that. And again, it'll even have my examples on there of good ones and weak ones, depending on how many points you want. Yes.
Isn't November the 11th month?
Yes.
You have it as the
No.
10th. Like it says 10 dash.
No, it is. It is the 10th month.
November is the 11th month. October is the 10th month.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Canvas you have it as like
Where on campus?
Does that mean the calendar?
the
It
calendar.
says 10/02.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I will fix that.
Oh my
I
God,
apologize.
Dookie. Period.
Oh,
I-
you. Liam.
Wait.
I tried.
I have a question.
Yes, you can.
So you know how Malik's absent? Okay, so I think we should put a keyword to see if we watch the video. But I know his thug self is not gonna watch it.
Well, if he comes in and says, I'm not a thug, that'll be our keyword.
Okay.
I bet now, like, we see.
I found a text.
Then,
Don't punch you in the face right now.
before you put iPad away, one more thing you get to hit on the screen. Since Friday's quiz goes to page 74, my goal today is to get you close to page 50, maybe past it if we get lucky. That means you still have 20-some pages you're going to have to read on your own between now and Friday. Here's where I'm going to help you out again. If that's too much reading for your wee little brain, you can click on the Shadow Club page, and when you click on the little Shadow Club page and you go tonky, it'll go tonky, and then bring you to the page where I go through and do all the reading to you. And so if you want me to read it to you, we are going to finish, hopefully, the fire and the agony today, and then you'll have to read chapter 4 on your own and then part of chapter 5. Because if you turn to page 74 in the book, it's not the end of a chapter. It's partway through a chapter. Because I didn't want to make you read the whole chapters. We just sort of stop partway through where a big thing happens. So hopefully that helps you out. All right. Now I'll come back to your questions. You can put iPads away. Now if you have iPad out, I get to charge you points.
I'll lit
Mr.
burn.
Brovicast,
Hey,
I'll
what?
lit burn.
can I leave it like this?
For the, like, the 10? 10?
You have Nike shoes.
Attention staying.
You have Nike
Realize
shoes.
that we have to write 2 paragraphs.
Right. Braden?
Okay, sure. The 10 sentence thing, should we do that today?
Yeah, when you get home. Sounds like fun.
What did you do?
Well, did you read the directions where it tells you in giant letters that are highlighted?
Yeah.
Why
Me
you
too.
laughing, dog?
Hi, Nate.
So like it says like this week Monday 10:23, right? It said on a previous calendar Friday 10:13.
Yeah, there's a chance that's what she was telling me. I forgot to change it.
No, she said it was a month, not the day.
I didn't change any of the days. I know. Hi, Haley. Well, that's why you read the directions. The same thing he just asked, where I made fun of. You feel bad because I made fun of Braden. I didn't make fun of you.
No.
Haley, I can make fun of you too.
No.
You sure?
It's okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to make you
I was
sad.
trying to get a monkey.
Yes. Good stuff. All right.
Hey, come back to me. I forgot I was gonna ask.
Now let's see if we go through. We got past. Let's see. How far did we get? I think we got to them arguing and fighting, right?
37, like halfway through 37.
37. Ah, so we got to the coach talking.
I was laughing because I thought it was Bill.
So we got to here.
Oh yeah, that's where we.
Who's talking in the treehouse?
Jared's getting busy.
Jared,
You're not completely
I
wrong.
thought you were gonna change to
Definitely
black.
Still, no.
Oh no, close your eyes.
I already did.
Right there. He's already been changed.
The color.
We actually get to meet our black character. He's coming up in
What's his name?
the
Is
next
his name
chapter.
Jamal?
Did you already read ahead?
No.
No, it's not Jamal.
Dang it.
You have to wait and find out. I can't.
Maybe it's Quantavious.
Is it
Did you
Amir?
read ahead? No, it's Jamal Quatavius.
Oh,
Brovicast, Mr. Brovicast. Is it Amir?
We're gonna find out. That's how reading works. Jared, our main character. What's he good at doing?
running.
Running, I mean.
How is Cheryl connected to him?
Best friend.
They're homies.
How is Randall connected to them?
Cheryl's
Brother.
brother.
So the part that you guys are going to read, that's where he becomes a main character. And Randall becomes one of our main characters in the story.
We don't like Randall though.
He's not taking my place.
You're going to like him less when we get into the story.
Oh,
And how does Rebecca come in?
she's an op. I mean,
Number 1 off.
Who does she look like?
Shirley
Austin Pace?
Shirley in the temple.
Shirley's face.
She said that.
Both a jerk and also Jared's
Opposition.
And his nickname?
Austin's face.
Tyson McGaw,
Greasy hair.
A greasy hair, weird.
Coach Schuler.
The coach for the thank you.
Nicely done. And no, I've not taken out the C yet.
Okay.
And we got past this part when Tyson was fighting.
Yeah, do that funny. Do the thing that's like.
Jared was doing that in science.
Mr.
I've
Brovicast.
just gotten past this, and we're getting ready to get to the coach.
Can I show how they fight?
Not right now. No matter how much fun you have to spin on your own.
Why do you have pickle juice in your room?
Because he hates pickles and kids give it to him as a
Oh,
joke.
I forgot.
Page 37, about halfway through.
Mr. Brovicast, I got you.
Hi, coach. What's up? You can see where he's got that little
I don't
spot.
see high coach what's up.
I said cheerfully. You got a minute? Yeah. You got a minute? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. why don't you come into my office? I followed him down the hall and into the gym where it was much quieter. Our footsteps echoed in the huge empty gym as we crossed it. It was cold and the air had the sour smell of the floor varnish. We went into his gym office. "Have a seat," he said, and then he picked up his clipboard and began to look at it. He sat in the other chair behind the desk, and he sat in the other chair behind the desk. I totaled up the results." "Yeah?" I said, trying to sound like I didn't really care. "It was pretty close." "Yeah?" He looked up from his clipboard, called on Ava.
Can I get something to clean this up? 'Cause
No.
it's sticky.
Yeah, not right now. Just don't lick it, you'll be fine. I really couldn't read his expression. He had a poker face. I guess you could never tell what was in his head. He stalled, keeping me in suspense. I didn't have a poker face. I knew all the expectation was in my eyes. In my lap, I had my fingers crossed so hard that my knuckles were turning white. You didn't get it, Jared. I'm sorry." At first, it was like I didn't quite hear him. My fingers were still crossed, as if crossing them could change what he had said. I still held my breath, but then what my ears had heard made its way into my brain. You know that sinking feeling? The kind you get about 10 seconds before you realize that you're going to throw up? Well, I didn't feel like I was going to throw up, but that sinking feeling stayed around for a long time. Before I went into his office, I'd been prepared to lose. But then he called me in, and I was sure that I had won. Why couldn't he have just let me find out when he posted it? I could have handled that. It wouldn't have been so bad. I would have just looked and walked away. But now he'd gotten my hopes up and couldn't just walk away. I had to sit there and feel lousy. "Oh, like I said," continued the coach, "it was a close race. You and Austin were neck and neck all the way." He began to fiddle with his clipboard. If it wasn't his clipboard, it was his whistle. If it wasn't his whistle, it was his glasses. He always fiddled with something. "Listen, I don't know how much you wanted..." Sorry, I am struggling. "Listen, I know how much you wanted to be captain. And because of all your hard work, I'm going to make you a very special offer. As runner-up, you are entitled to something very special. So I'm making you assistant coach." Assistant coach? It might not sound so bad to you, but you have to understand that assistant coach was a position usually given to some younger kid who was not a good enough runner to be on the team. He might as well have told me I was team mascot. Assistant coach? That's right. Well, what do I get to do? Take attendance, get equipment, stuff like that. Well, what was I supposed to say to that? Austin gets all the glory and power of being team captain, and I get to take attendance. I tried to be enthusiastic, but I just couldn't. And the coach could see it in my eyes. I didn't have a poker face. Thanks. You don't seem too happy about it. No, I'm happy. I'm just a little upset about not being captain, that's all. Sure, yeah, I understand. Well, you can hang around here for a few minutes if you like. I'll give you a late pass for homeroom. No, that's okay. I'm sure he could tell in my voice that it wasn't okay. I didn't have a poker voice either. Listen, there's always high school. Right, I said, silently thinking how Lost in Space would win again when we were seniors in high school. Thanks. It was the least I could do. You're a good kid, Jared. I feel bad for you. No, don't feel bad for me. I don't want you feeling bad for me. Well, I think sometimes life gives people the short end of the stick, and I think you deserve more. Thanks. See you this afternoon? Yeah, be early, so you can take attendance. The hall was empty when I left the gym, except for one kid. None other than Lost in Space himself was standing outside the gym doors. He was waiting for me. It wasn't a coincidence. Sorry, my throat's... No, it wasn't. Wrong. Sorry. throat's drying out. I have to have my right voice in there for Austin. Let's see. Where is it? Oh! Oh, you spoke to the coach already, huh? Yeah. So he told you I won? How did you already know? He spoke to me first. You don't think he'd tell you before he told me, do you? Austin waited for an answer, but I didn't give him one. I'll bet you like being team secretary. Assistant coach. No, all it really is team secretary. Hey, I'll make sure to give you lots of memos to type. Maybe you can come over to my house sometime and answer some phones. I turned and walked down the hall. He followed, his aeropeds gliding across the floor. I wanted to step on him and leave nice gray tread marks on the snow-white leather toes. It's not secretary. All right, gopher then. I stopped. What? You know, gopher. Hey, Jerry, go for this. Hey, Jerry, go for that. Hey, Jerry, gopher, gopher, gopher. I just scowled at him. He saw the anger in my unpoker face and laughed. Just kidding, he said in the nastiest, most obnoxious tone a person could come up with. Then he laughed harder and turned away, his aeropeds bouncing off down the hallway, squeaking on the floor. This gopher thing is going to become a big deal in the book. One, if you don't know what a gopher is, the animal, they're these guys. This one is from Winnie the Pooh. These are the adorable little gophers.
Oh yeah, I remember
I
that.
talk to them all the time. Those are the actual gophers. When Austin is calling Jared gopher, he's not referring to this. It's the fact that the word gopher sounds like the two words go for, because it's an actual job at businesses. When you first join and all you get to do is go and grab things for other people, you're called a gopher. Because they go, hey, can you go for some coffee? Or can you go for some copies and pick them up? And they call you gophers because you have to go around and go for things. So that's what Austin's calling him, as a gopher. And then when I was Googling gophers, I came across a little gopher comic strip. And it said, suddenly Mort realized he would never climb the corporate ladder. After all, he was just a gopher. And so there's a little adorable gopher. All right, gopher. I felt, real quick. In your opinion, do you think what Austin is doing qualifies as bullying?
Yes.
Yes.
Just from our earlier conversations, I was curious to see sort of how you thought about that one
Mr.
too.
Brovicast, it wouldn't be bullying if this is the only time he did it, but
Facts.
he keeps repeatedly making him mad on purpose, so that's when it becomes bullying.
I can see
Yes,
that.
sir.
It's not physical though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I felt
Foreshadowing.
more humiliated than I felt in a long time as I walked down the hall. It wasn't the fact that I was assistant coach that bothered me. It was the fact that Austin knew first and, as usual, made fun of me, calling me gopher. It was bad enough to feel hidden in his shadow, but to be humiliated, that was something else. He was twisting the knife. How would I feel if Austin Pace had never been born? Let's not talk about it. The alarm went off at 1:30. That's right. You guessed it. Another school fire. I can't say I wasn't glad to hear the alarm bell. I hadn't been able to concentrate all day because of what was happening that morning. At least now, I could feel angry without having to pay attention to teachers at the same time. For those of you who want to highlight that part, that's on page 42, where it talks about not paying attention to teachers. That may be a thing that connects to some of them. Unless you weren't paying attention to me right now and you're just confused. Page 42. It used to be nobody raised much of a fuss when the fire alarm went off. The teachers would just get the class up and funnel them in an orderly manner down the stairway and out into the field. Now it was much quicker and much more serious. Used to be they were all drills or false alarms, but last year there were 3 real fires. The last one burned down the gym. Now, as we marched into the hall, I could swear I already smelled smoke. The scene out in the field was much more chaotic than any of the teachers could stand for. Kids were running in the field, and the neat little rows of classes were breaking down into mobs of kids, good many of them pressing up against the fence to see the smoke pouring out of the cafeteria. There wasn't a whole lot of smoke, but it was enough to cause a commotion. I didn't really care to watch the fire. I had my own problems to think about. If I sound heartless, it isn't because I didn't care about anyone left in the school. I'd overheard the principal say the school had been cleared and there was nothing to worry about except for the cafeteria burning down, which, believe me, is exactly what the cafeteria deserved. While the cafeteria smoked, I fumed, still filled with the anger Austin had put in me that morning. I don't want to talk about it, I told Cheryl when she asked me about the track team. She knew exactly what I meant when I said, and don't ask again? Well, join the club. Why? What's wrong with you? Oh, nothing. It's just that the play they're doing this year is Annie. So, guess what? Snotty little Brad is absolutely perfect for the role. Rebecca's trying out. I don't even think she has to. They'll just look at her and give her the role. Do you guys know the movie Annie?
Yes.
I watched it so many times.
I love the black Annie. The white Annie's trash.
I kind of agree with you. I thought that was a really good
The
version.
black one's way better.
The
She
black
has
one's
way
better.
better singing too.
Yeah.
Who wanted the level look like Ice Spice?
And there's like well, it's more like Water Spice because she's really young. She has not become the ice version yet.
That's White Spice.
And so, yeah, this is the main character is like an adorable little kid, so that's the reference that they're making with this whole little Annie.
I hate that. I hate the
Sergeant Big
the lady that.
Yeah. It's we have the song like "It's a hard knock life, this life." You might recognize it because JC sampled it. It was a good
No, I
song.
recognize it from TikTok.
It's a hard life for you.
Get water.
Did you hear what Amir said?
Yeah, I try not to charge him more points because he's already low enough. So there's only so much I can do to help
Isn't
the
he
kid.
at like 4 points?
Not yet. He's just getting close.
You're at
You're at
6.
like 5. You're about to get a detention.
I'm at 5.
I don't know. I mean, how many ISRs can one kid go to?
Amir, I got a recommendation. Just shut up and listen.
What? No. What are you doing? Don't you listen to him, Amir. You make your own choices.
Yeah.
Someone has to have a detention.
Yeah, be a free black man.
I'm not having no detention.
Cheryl continued to complain at me about Rebecca and other things. I turned to look at the school. The firefighters were standing by the fire truck doing nothing in particular, which meant that the fire was not a big one and had been put out right away. The cafeteria had been saved, although it would probably smell like smoke for the rest of the year. We all knew there'd be no more school that day, not till they were positive there was no fire left and the building had a chance to air out. Still, they couldn't let us go home until 3, so the schoolyard began to resemble a junior high school riot, with kids playing all sorts of unruly games that made the teachers all start pulling out their hair. "A club?" said Cheryl. "Huh?" I said, "We should form a club of all the kids who are second best." Yes.
I got a question. Did you highlight that part, teachers pulling out hair? Because we make you want to do it all the time.
I thought about it. I came close on that one. I laughed.
To the ball.
Yeah, right. And one by one, we'll do away with everyone in our way. Mwah-ha-ha-ha-ha. No, I'm serious. We could have a club just for fun. Something that only we could have. And none of the unbeatable kids could be in it. A second best club. That's a stupid idea. No, it's not. We could all go and do things and have fun and really make the unbeatable kids jealous that we thought of it before they did. Will we one up on them for a change? Okay, yeah. Who would be in this club? I don't know. We'd have to think about it for a while and come up with some names. I'll bet there are lots of kids who want to be in it. My brother, for instance. Nobody else will want to do it. They're going to laugh at us. But if they don't, Jared, we could be starting something big. A secret club that'll go on for years after we've gone on to high school. I thought about that. Cheryl always had a way of convincing me of things. But this time, she wasn't the one who convinced me. It was someone else. "Hey, Jared," someone called. It was that familiar voice, a voice I didn't want to hear. I could almost see those arrowheads and that red hair and those long, bony arms. "Hey, Jared, Want a race?
Wait, he's a ginger?
He is. First race of the season. So this was it. The challenge. Austin was always the one to challenge first. Usually he waited until the second week when he'd seen me run and was absolutely sure he'd be able to beat me. This time, he asked me on the second day, and there were too many kids around for me to turn down the challenge. Don't you think it'd be better if we waited till the field was cleared? Isn't this clear enough? I turned around. Sure enough, the field was clear enough to race. Austin had come over with about 10 kids, and more kids were joining us because everyone knew what he was up to, and everyone knew about our rivalry. Maybe we should wait until your legs grow some more, he said. Everyone laughed. I laughed too, because it was better to be laughed with than laughed at, all right? Inside, I wasn't laughing though. Fine then, right now. Austin smiled, that crocodile smile. Hey Greg, go about 60 yards and judge us. Greg Miller, one of the new 7th graders on the team, obeyed as if he'd been given an order by God. So, this is where it begins, I thought. This year's competition, this year's war. I felt strong. I felt ready to run. I felt like I always felt when I raced with Austin, that maybe this time I would beat him. We got down into starting position. Then Austin got up. Wait, he said. He took off his precious shoes, then his socks. He was going to run barefoot. Okay, he got back down. Are you ready to lose? I didn't answer. Martin Bricker got ready to start us as more and more kids turned to watch. Even teachers were watching. So this is where it begins. On your mark, get set, go! I took off like a bullet, cutting through the wind, pounding the grass with every last bit of my strength. I didn't turn to look, but I could see in the corner of my eye that we were neck and neck. 10 yards were gone. I looked toward Greg down the field and concentrated on turning everything I had into power. This is for every time you beat me as races as a kid. I pushed harder. This is for when you I pushed harder. This is for how you made me feel this morning. I pushed harder. We were still neck and neck. 30 yards gone, 30 to go. The cheers faded away behind us. And this is for challenging me in front of the whole school. This is for everything you've ever tried to do to me for the rest of our lives. This is for those stupid running shoes you wear. 40 yards gone. I was ahead of him by a foot. I was beating him. I pushed harder. 15 yards to go. 15 to go. And then we had to stop.
Oh my God.
So this is the part where we now get past exposition and we
We didn't burn yet.
have rising action and we have excitement through to the end.
Are you
Mr.
recording?
Now